She pressed her mouth to cold glass as Sirens begged her to back away. Red lights stuttered across the quarantine hall. Guards shouted. The boy on the other side, Jace breathed fog against the pane and whispered her name like a secret he wanted to keep. Mara should have stepped away. Rule 1, no touch. Rule 2, no names. Rule 3, no promises. But rules felt small when his eyes found hers. When the world was a metal coffin and he was the last warm thing in it. Don't, the speaker crackled. Containment only. She didn't move, the alarms bit the air. In Ward E, the virus shivered like dust in blue light, a cloud that wasn't air and wasn't smoke. It clung to Jace's skin in faint silver veins. He had 12 minutes, the monitor said. 12 minutes until his lungs went dark. She had watched that countdown for a week on other bodies. She remembered their last looks. How they learned to count backward with nothing left to count. Jace leaned his forehead to the glass. So did she. It was the closest she could get to feeling his heat. I'm scared. Mar, he said, voice thin, her heart pressed all the way to the glass with her. Me too. She should have kept it short. She should have told him a joke. Instead, she let her lips brush the pain, a fake kiss, a broken prayer. The glass tasted of chemicals and her own breath. The virus seemed to hear it, the cloud gathered. It swam toward the pain as if curious. The sirens rose. Doors began to seal. Boots hit the floor behind her. Mara closed her eyes. She pictured a field she had never seen. Wind on grass. Jace's laugh before the gates. She held those things in her mouth like a coin you don't want to spend, and then a hum slid through the glass. Through her teeth, through the bones near her ears. I prefer kindness, it said. Mara went very still. She had heard rumors in the night shift. That the plume sang, that the old servers under the hospital had a story about it from the first outbreak near the salt mines. A whisper, the sickness listens. But that was legend, and legends were for people who had time. Did you hear that? Jace's eyes were wide. She nodded, not trusting her throat. The guards were almost there. She didn't move. The virus had spoken like a person learning to use a word. Not cruel. Not soft. Curious, step away. Captain Cade's voice cracked the aisle. Mara, do not make me drag you. She should have obeyed. But Jace coughed, and the veins on his neck dimmed for a second, like a light taking a breath. The sensors ticked backward. 12 minutes became 11, 10. Then paused like a skipped note. The cloud pressed to the glass where her mouth had been, as if tasting memory. Mara pressed her palm there. If you hear me, she whispered to the hum. Take me instead. It was a foolish thing. It was the only thing. The hum changed. The lights calmed, but only a little. Behind her, Boots stopped. Even Cade didn't speak for a heartbeat. Then the midpoint tore open. Jace's monitors leveled. The silver veins thinned until they were only threads under the skin. He took a full breath. His eyes cleared like the end of rain. And Mara felt a cold hand slide into her chest, a soft weight, like a small bird settling there. Because the virus had not left him for air. It had crossed through listening. It was in her. Not eating. Not burning. Watching. She didn't collapse. She expected fire. She got a quiet that made the alarm sound far away. Under it, the hum folded itself into words again. Kindness, it said. Selected. Cade was at her shoulder. He had a shock baton, but he didn't raise it. He looked at Jace thriving on the other side of the window, then at Mara's stillness, and his mouth pulled tight. We were wrong, he said, and she realized he hadn't meant to say that out loud. About what? She asked, not turning. Dr. Sira hurried up, white coat open, hair loose from its tie. Sira had trained Mara, taught her how to read a dying screen and keep her hands steady. About the plume, Sira said. It does not kill to kill. It tests. It chooses hosts who break rules for others. It stays if you are cruel. It leaves if you are kind. Mara heard the forbidden words from the old folders, resonance trials, empathy gates. She also heard the catch in Sira's voice, the one she used when she hated what she knew. You knew? Mara asked. Sira nodded once. I came to stop Cade from pushing this. He wanted you to break Rule 1. Her eyes flicked to his baton. To bait it. Cade didn't deny it. We need a carrier who can walk, he said. One who can take orders. Mara felt the weight in her chest turn, as if the bird inside shifted to face him. A small tremor ran through her fingers. Not fear, attention, through the wall, Jace's laughter burst. He couldn't help it. He was alive. He touched the glass and kissed it the same silly way she had. Mar, he said, breathless. It let me go. Mara swallowed the ache and smiled, because hope is a blade that cuts both ways. Syrah stepped closer. Listen to me, she whispered. Deep in Archive 12 there is a line. Do not command what chooses. Do not cage what listens. If they lock you, it will learn our worst. If you walk out, it might learn our best. Cade lifted the baton now. I can't let an uncontained host leave. The hum warmed. Mara felt it study the two of them through her. It was old. Older than the city. Older than the neat code printed on hazard tape. Maybe it had crossed ice or stone. Maybe it had ridden Saltwind into a mine and found a song there. What do you want? She asked it, not caring if Cade thought she was talking to air. The answer slid across her jawbone. Stories. What kind? Of gentleness when blood is near. Syrah met Mara's eyes. It heard you, she said softly. It heard your promise. The baton spit a spark in the air. Last warning, Cade said. Mara looked at the red lights, at the tired guards, at Jace's open smile. She saw a world trained to flinch, to lock, to keep. She thought of Rule 3, no promises. She had already broken it. So she broke it again. I promise, she told the thing inside her. I'll show you better. And she moved. She ducked as the baton swung and the spark grazed her shoulder. Syrah slammed an elbow into Cade's arm. Sirens screamed fresh. Doors shuddered. Mara hit the override on the wall that said do not touch, and the gate to Ward E began to open with the slow breath of a giant waking. Air rushed. Jace stumbled forward, free. From the ceiling speaker, another voice poured out, sweet and low, threading the hum. A voice Mara knew from a lullaby buried under years. Little star, it sang. Come home. Her mother's voice. Dead 10 years, Mara's knees almost quit. She stared at the glowing seams in the door. The hum inside her trembled like a struck string. Cade spat blood and laughed once, mean. Should have read deeper, Mara. It keeps an archive of us. The door finished opening. The corridor ahead filled with a soft silver drift. Not threatening, waiting. Mara, Jace said, reaching for her from the threshold, new life bright on his face. What now? She stepped into the fog that felt like breath and memory and began to answer, and the lights died. Want the next chapter to hit your feed? Stick around and I'll drop part 2.